Hello and welcome to another sit down with Jan. I'm your host, Jan Ragnerud. Today we're going to cover this question. I get it often, right? Help, I get great products, but nobody knows about me. Keep watching. Basically, here's the first question I tend to ask is, do you have any marketing going on right now? Yes? No? Any advertising? Any special promotions over here? Do you have any word of mouth? Any referrals going on? Any giveaways, any contests, any special content that you've provided? And many times, and most of the time, the answer is kinda, not, or yes we do, but it ain't working, right? I mean, very typical, right? But most of the time it's this idea not really doing anything, right? Well, that's a completely different thing. We're going to get to that at the end of this video. And I put out some stickers here today. I kind of want to hold off on the content so we push you through here, but I'm very excited about this because today we're going to go through a lot of cool stuff. So if the answer is no, I haven't really done anything, well then we're going to really help you here today. So let's go ahead and push this out. And by the way, if you are a solopreneur, one person business, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, smaller business, or you're $100 million organization, right, with huge infrastructures, multinational, thousands of employees perhaps, you're dealing with the same issues though, but different segments, right, different scale. But it all gets back to the basics, and that is this. Where is your audience hanging out? Who are they? What are the questions? What are their needs? What are their concerns? What are you trying to make a difference providing into their lives, right? So you want to make sure you're clear on that. So sit down for a moment and think about that, right? This is not a quick exercise, although these videos are rather quick. You need to really think, who are they? Where are they? What are those concerns? And then pick a platform. I talk about this a lot. The idea that you want to just flood your information across networks, not a viable situation at first. Yes, eventually you can scale up to this, but you don't want to start there. So pick a platform based on your research. Then get a website. All of these other networks out there are available for your use. They're free, they're open, of course, creates a huge universe for you to dive into and somewhat complex and overwhelming. Start with the basic, that platform, as I mentioned, that audience, and your website. That's your home base. That's where you want everybody to ultimately end up, right? Plus, you own it. The idea of paid, owned, and earned media is something we'll cover in a future video. But you ultimately own this, right? You pay for that hosting and you provide that. And you want to create content on that. That becomes your hub where you disseminate information. People come back there to get more, subscribe to your newsletters, etc. But ultimately, that allows you to also get a better structure for how you push this out, get a scheduling program going, right? Make offers. So this could be the idea that you should pick this book up by Perry Marshall, 80-20 Rule of Business, right? Is that 80% of the time you'll provide great content and output, and then 20% of the time you'll create offers. And in fact, it's a little bit messed up the way I said that right now, because typically the 80-20 rule goes like this. 80% of results is from 20% of your efforts, right? And it could be 90-10 here, but I'm trying to get you to think about a baseline in terms of how much work do I really provide in giving to my audience, and how much work should I do in providing offers. Now, there's another rule in this, and we use this a lot, is you should spend 80% of your time creating content and 20% out there, reverse, 20%, reverse. So 20% is done creating content, 80% is doing promotional strategies, and promotional strategies really in that context is meant by really sharing out to your community. But I'm really talking about making offers here specifically. So don't be afraid to make offers. This is the whole idea about, I don't really want to sell, I don't want to be your sleazy salesman right in your face. The truth is, sales is what drives business. You need sales. Finally, sharing and caring. That's all about you. You want that. You need that. You want it, you want to give it. So share and care out in the community, and that's also belonging to a community where you can add value to that community. Finally, what we're going to do here in this third segment is we're going to talk about how you get started on this. Well, you get questions all the time, and what are those typical questions you get? Is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 questions? Well, list them out, be very clear on those, get a great answer, put it up on your website, Make a video if that's what you choose to do. That might be a video on YouTube, it might be a video on Facebook or both places, but you're trying to address their needs. You're essentially putting yourself a little bit back here and you're addressing their concerns. And what are you solving? What is it that you're trying to solve? So you might have a common question out there, but it's not really one that has a clear answer where your product or your service could come in. Sure, you want to address it because that creates that total authority, which is your ultimate goal. But what are you solving? And really, you're sort of moving them forward into this sales funnel of yours that you're building out. Irresistible offers. I talked about offers before. Irresistible offers takes it to the next level where you're truly addressing their concerns and offering them something that they cannot resist. That could be a special freemium to your software subscription. That could be a special download, of course. It could also be, if you have physical products, it could be something where you offer them a special package plus free shipping, or you're putting on a special event where all your newcomers come in for free and you offer them an upsell from that event, right? So make sure that you make it completely irresistible and think about what's the most dangerous or most sort of volatile point you could go to go basically zero on the front end in terms of the lead generation, but then capture them through a nurturing and sales funnel. Very, very common, very typical, but you may not have addressed it. Sell by not selling. This is the ultimate goal. This is where you become the total authority for your marketplace and where you're presenting so much good information, so much goodwill, so much love that they come back to you. They ask you, when can they sign up? Maybe you have a specific service that you're offering and you only have one monthly, once a month, 1 week access where you keep it open and you close it back down again. This could double or triple or quadruple your signups in that manner, right? So you make yourself a little more exclusive, but you're sharing a lot of great content. For instance, if you find that Facebook ads or Facebook is working for you, create some Facebook ads based on the likes that you have. You may want to create a Facebook ad strategy that builds likes so that you can advertise to them later. You can get super low click costs for doing that, right? Ad strategies in Facebook can get complex, but start with something like that. And YouTube. I'm on YouTube right here, actually Vimeo and YouTube both, but you can do this by presenting answers to these questions. Start very simple, short videos, but think infotainment. Make it fun, make it outgoing, make it you, but turn it up an extra notch. In fact, I'm talking to you right now. Sounds like I'm kind of talking to you normally. I'm actually kind of yelling over the camera here today. But I hope it works. So the same thing with these other platforms. LinkedIn, business to business, it's a must do, must play, right? And publish articles there. Make sure you introduce yourself to the right communities, the right groups here. If you're in Pinterest, I didn't put that on here. Pinterest, very graphically oriented, very visual. If you have a photography business, weddings, cakes, designs, make sure you're on Pinterest. Run ads on Pinterest, proven very, very favorable for many, many businesses. Medium.com, great place to push yourself out and create great informational pieces is what I'm trying to say that you can share out to your community and build followers there as well. Snapchat, of course, the new up and comer, kind of the Facebook mini Facebook giant coming behind the scenes to take over. We'll see where that goes, but you might find that quick storylines in Snapchat and doing little geo-filter ads to blanket a geo area can be very, very favorable for your business. And ultimately, here's what this belongs to, the category of listening. If you don't know really where to start on this, go out and listen in the various platforms. What are those top leaders doing in the marketplace that you're not doing? What are their concerns? And if they're talking about, their latest camping trip or their latest outing somewhere, kind of get involved with that conversation. It's not just about you, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. Well, I'm going to sell him this pitch right here. Share information, care, as I said before, about what they're thinking about and present it accordingly. Listening is huge, right? And I put here kind of at the bottom, I forget who said this, but life is your own damn fault, right? It's kind of funny, but it's true. We sit around and we complain a lot. That's kind of human nature, but then we don't take action. And the action is what gets you somewhere. This is not super comfortable for me, although I'm comfortable enough to do this. But the truth is, if you put yourself out there, get your message out there, just have fun with it and quit essentially whining, which I hear a lot of, you can do this. There's no doubt about it. The question I get often is, well, I think YouTube will work well for me, but I don't know what to say. Very simple. Answer these questions. You can do it so simply. You could create a PowerPoint slide, just put them up there and speak to it. You might show your face for just 1 second, flip over to the PowerPoint slide, do it that way. Then promote it out there. And here's the killer thing at the end here. Do not get discouraged. I see this all the time. Hey, I tried some LinkedIn stuff, that ain't working. I tried some YouTube videos, that ain't working. I did a little bit of Facebook, it seems to not hold for me. I can't get people to my website, nobody's buying. It's just like nothing is working, right? It sounds pretty distressing, right? And it is when that happens. But the truth is, in marketing, just as in life, nothing is instant, nothing is a formula where you can just apply it and it works. You see a lot of this online, a lot of the hype, the internet marketing crowd, we're just nuts out there to get your attention. The truth though is you'll see very quickly what products, what services, and what individuals and companies stand out and make a difference. And that's you, and I believe in you very, very much. So take this to heart, get these into action, and you can do it right now. Take action, and I'll see you in another episode of The Sit Down. Later, guys.